true. Which ones?
The Trump-Russia witch hunt, Jeffrey Epstein, JFK assassination, the misuse of the Patriot Act, the Iraq War, the weapons of mass destruction, the war in Ukraine, the bombing of the Nord Stream pipeline, the open border migration caravans, the climate change scam, chemtrails, and HARP, and 9/11 being an inside job, and the Internet of Things surveillance grid, and PFAs, and chemicals in the water turning everyone gay, and the 2020 election being stolen, and January 6th being filled with undercover feds, and Bilderberg and Bohemian Grove, and global government, not to mention gain-of-function research and the threat of China, and collapsing birth rates, and defund the police, and George Soros, and mail-in ballots, and big tech censorship, and disinformation agencies, and Obama's birth certificate, and probably some others I can't think of. I mean, so a few of them. I guess a couple of them have been true.
All right, everyone. Hello and welcome back to the Collective Minds podcast. So, you could check this out for yourself here. Don't just believe me and my nonsense, all right? So it's ohchr.org, or you can simply just start Googling like I did, and it's here. So this is a list of directed energy weapons and targeted individual patents, right? So this is what they're using today. This is what your Wi-Fi is. This is what your cell signal is. This is what those new cameras are that they're introducing in large cities that they've already covered all of Europe in. It's a war. And I started going through them one by one. I wanted to show you guys just one. It says this one was, I think that says Robert G. Malone. We'll have to see. But so it's US 3951134. This I'm just going to go over one because we don't want it to be that boring. But this is the list. Make sure if you really want to look this up, do it. Go through them. I'm sure there's even more interesting ones than the one I'm going to introduce to you here. So filing date. This goes all the way back to 1974. US patent. All right, it says apparatus for and method of sensing brain waves at a position remote from a subject whereby electromagnetic signals of different frequencies are simultaneously transmitted to the brain of the subject in which the signals interfere with one another to yield a waveform, which is modulated by the subject's brain waves. The interference waveform, which is representative of the brain wave activity, is retransmitted by the brain to a receiver, where it is demodulated and amplified. The demodulated waveform is then displayed for visual viewing and routed to a computer for further processing and analysis. The demodulated waveform also can be used to produce a compensating signal, which is transmitted back to the brain to affect a desired change in electrical activity therein. Now, I'm sure back then, well, they say 50 years in advance they are. And all the technology we're playing with right now is old stuff. But this is, they can do this from far away. So how can they target? Not sure. I'm sure it's in these patents as well. Let's see. Background summary of the invention right here. It says the present invention relates to apparatus and a method for monitoring brain waves wherein all components of the apparatus employed are remote from the test subject. More specifically, high-frequency transmitters are operated to radiate electromagnetic energy of different frequencies through antennas, which are capable of scanning the entire brain of the test subject or any desired region thereof. The signals of different frequencies penetrate the skull of the subject and impinge upon the brain, where they mix to yield an interference wave modulated by radiations from the brain's natural electrical activity. The modulated interference wave is retransmitted by the brain and received by an antenna at a remote station where it is demodulated and processed to provide a profile of the subject's brainwaves. In addition to passively monitoring his brainwaves, the subject's neurological processes may be affected by transmitting to his brain, through a transmitter, compensating signals. The latter signals can be derived from the received and processed brainwaves. So they scan your brain, it sounds like, find how your brain, what frequency your brain's working on. Gets those signals and can send those signals back, telling your brain or interfering with it and causing things to happen. Says it is therefore an object of the invention to remotely monitor electrical activity in the entire brain or selected local regions thereof with a single measurement. Another object is the monitoring of a subject's brainwave activity through transmission and reception of electromagnetic waves. Still another object is to monitor brainwave activity from a position remote from the subject. A further object is to provide a method and apparatus for affecting brainwave activity by transmitting electromagnetic signals thereto. It's that last one right there. Affecting brainwave activity by transmitting electromagnetic signals thereto, remotely. Very interesting. So once again, that's ohchr.org. And it's all over. I mean, this is quite the list. Pages of it. Right there, it looks like heart attack, remote weapon, Lily wave. And it's funny because this is this website right here, what we're on. This is what happens when I typed it into Google. This is on Google Patents. It's patents.google.com. So it's real. They're admitting it. They have to show you these things. That's why you got to know where to look. But yeah, once again, ohchr.org. They have the list of it. In other news, it says whistleblower Bill Gates seeding monkeypox in major cities via chemtrails. A disturbing revelation has emerged from within the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, as a whistleblower comes forward to expose a plan to use the existing chemtrails operation to unleash the next pandemic. A senior scientist has bravely broken her silence to reveal a covert operation known as Project Skypox, which involves spraying a highly contagious variety of aerosolized monkeypox, or mpox, over unsuspecting civilian populations with a view to causing a new pandemic, and rolling out a punishing regime of vaccines and restrictions. Claiming that staff at the Gates Foundation are divided over the morality of this operation, the senior scientist warns that Gates is laser focused on the plan and determined to push ahead with it whether his staff agree with him or not. Now, I'm going to play this video. Going to watch it for the first time with you. So, pretty sure there's a few things we're going to learn on this.
A disturbing revelation has emerged from within the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, as a whistleblower comes forward to expose a plan to use the existing chemtrails operation to unleash the next pandemic. A senior scientist has bravely broken her silence to reveal a covert operation known as Project Skypox, which involves spraying a highly contagious variety of aerosolized monkeypox over unsuspecting civilian populations with a view to causing a new pandemic and rolling out a punishing regime of vaccines and restrictions. Claiming that staff at the Gates Foundation are divided over the morality of this operation, the senior scientist warns that Gates is laser focused on the plan and determined to push ahead with it whether his staff agree with him or not. Before we dive in, join the People's Voice Locals community if you haven't already, and sign up to become a member of the world's first ever cyber nation that truly warned Canadians to expect a new virus worse than COVID that will somehow cut off their access to the food supply, banking services, and gasoline. It feels like a meticulously crafted scheme to lock the prison door on humanity and toss away the key forever. Meanwhile, the WF-infiltrated government in the UK is busy cracking down on any form of dissent from the globalist agenda, this week arresting people for crimes such as sharing anti-establishment rhetoric on social media. While in New Zealand, the WF-infiltrated government have updated their pandemic plan to grant police the power to detain and restrain members of the public for forced vaccinations, among a raft of new authoritarian measures. The elite earmarked 2024 as the year to break humanity's spirit and move at breakneck speed towards the authoritarian future they've been planning for decades. This week, the virus fanatics at the Gates-funded World Health Organization made the next phase of their plan clear, and it involves mpox, which is the new name for monkeypox. According to WHO chief Dr. Tedros, who receives the vast bulk of his paycheck from Bill Gates, sovereign nations must come together to coordinate a global response to what he describes as the mpox international health emergency, following a minor outbreak in isolated parts of the Democratic Republic of Congo.
The detection and rapid spread of a new clade of mpox in eastern DRC, its detection in neighboring countries that had not previously reported mpox, and the potential for further spread within Africa and beyond is very worrying. In addition to other outbreaks of other clades of mpox in other parts of Africa, it's clear that a coordinated international response is essential to stop these outbreaks and save lives.
The Gates Foundation conveniently already has enough mpox vaccinations ready to vaccinate the bulk of the world. But there's just one problem, according to a brave Gates Foundation scientist who has become the highest placed whistleblower in the history of the organisation. According to the whistleblower, mpox just isn't contagious enough, and the elite are desperately seeking new ways to infect the global population so they can roll out the next phase of their totalitarian master plan to enslave humanity.
I never thought I'd find myself in this position, but I can't keep quiet any longer. The weight of what's happening is crushing me, and I need to tell someone, anyone, the truth. For years, I've been part of an organization that operates under the guise of protecting the greater good. We've been told that our work is crucial, that the decisions we make, no matter how difficult, are necessary to prevent larger catastrophes. You know, I believed that once. I really did. But everything changed when I learned about Operation Skypox. I'm not sure how much time you have, so I'll get straight to the point. We are planning to release aerosolized mpox, which is a highly infectious clade of the virus, over densely populated cities by spraying it from the sky as part of existing chemtrails operations. The official line from the top is that this is a preventive measure, a way to control the population, cull the herd, and avert future disasters. Gates has justified it by saying that resources are running out, that the population is growing too quickly, and that the world will be a much worse place in the future if we don't act now. But this isn't about saving lives. It's about control. It's about Bill Gates playing God with people's lives. And the worst part? There's a division within the organization. Some of us see this plan for what it is: immoral, unethical, and an unforgivable breach of the trust people place in us as scientists. But there are others who've convinced themselves that Bill knows best, that it's not our place to question his motives. He's like a god to them. That's not an exaggeration. They've become so detached from the reality of what we're doing to people that they can't see the horror of it anymore.
The Gates Foundation whistleblower revealed the organisation is working with globalist institutions, including the United Nations and World Economic Forum, to expedite an mRNA vaccine rollout in the same manner as the COVID pandemic. Except, this vaccine will be pumped into the arms of the masses even faster without any testing, and the consequences will be even worse. We've got the details after this important word from our sponsor. Today's sponsor is pillsforever.com. If you think Big Pharma have your best interest, listen to this testimony of Joe Tippins, a cancer survivor, thanks to fenbendazole.
2 years ago, Joe Tippins says he was told to go home, call hospice, and say his goodbyes. The doctors were unanimous. He was going to die of small cell lung cancer.
Once that kind of cancer goes that far afield, the odds of survival are less than 1%, and the median life expectancy is 3 months.
Tippins says he got a tip, not from a pharmacist, but a veterinarian. And in his desperation, he turned from people medicine to dog medicine. Specifically, fenbendazole.
My insurance company spent $1.2 million on me with
All right. So there you have it. Is Bill Gates trying to, I guess, drop monkeypox all over everyone? It's interesting because they've been talking about it was bird flu, now it's monkeypox again. The UN, right, or the WHO, UN, WHO Director General declares monkeypox outbreak a public health emergency of international concern. Let's see, UN Health Agency convening experts to determine if the mpox outbreak in Africa is a global emergency. Mpox or monkeypox, what you need to know. It says with over 500 dead, UN declares monkeypox emergency. So that was easy. Is UN set to declare mpox and bird flu global emergencies, deploy troops worldwide? And then you got a picture of Alex Jones here. UN confirms sexual spread of mpox in Congo for the first time as country sees a record outbreak. Explained what is mpox. UN confirms sexual spread of the disease in Congo. Monkeypox declared a global health emergency by the World Health Organization. So I think that's where they're going to go with this. Is they're going to say you're dirty. That's what it is. They're going to say you're dirty. It's your fault. You're getting it. Everyone's just spreading it. They can't keep it in their pants. You know, and it's starting to spread and pretty much just contact. And so don't touch each other. And it's going to get weird. It's going to be, instead of masks, people are going to be like putting a full body condom on and just not breathing at all. They're just going to put themselves in body bags. If this goes through, I guess it really depends on what's going on with the wars and all that good stuff. So let us know what you think down in the comments. Thanks for tuning in on this one. Leave a like if you can, and subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, let us know. We will catch you on